Okay, we're broadcasting as we usually do at this time every day. We are here with this picture of the Statue of Liberty of the Confederation of Earth and Planets, the Stargate Atlantis and all holy lands risen, symbol of the eternal feminine, which also enlightens the way for the eternal masculine, that is of kindness and fairness, the divine democracy for all people, past, present, future, opening the stargates and the Akashic record and making it possible for all humanity to become risen. I am a living representative of the goddess Astrea, of the civilization of Atlantis, the 3,000-year-old successful peace culture that had humanity not abandoned its ways, we would already be living on all heavens, on all earths. So let's look at the Statue of Liberty. And now we also want to show our Statue of Liberties on all the continents. Again. And now we show our link to our most important website to educate you as to why we say parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future. And la leche, la leche, la leche, la leche. For the Milky Way and beyond. And then we also have our marvelous, miraculous, intergenerational place of gathering, the hat crown halo trying on of divine democracy, a gathering of women and youths and yet children, youths, females and males aged around 37 and younger, on our virtual gathering to open up the stargates, the broadcast of the LE circleways and arrowways, all L's. Goddess and God going back and forth in time to open the stargates and bring us divine democracy on this, on all our planets, heavens on all earths. As Equinox True Q's Co-Secretary General, go save your eyes. And as always, we will play this recording for you. And we'll also play this recording for you. Bear with us for a moment. It'll take about a minute to get ready. And while we're waiting, I'll just say, I believe that I have kind of mucked up my savioral activities here, putting certain things in the wrong order. And in some ways, I think that I have had difficulty understanding with the internalized patriarchal mindset of many, many women. I am so delighted with the eternal feminine in the women that I've known who have demonstrated confidence as well as nurturing, that and caring about one another, that it has been difficult for me to grasp the mindset who believe they should defer to men as decision makers. It has been difficult for me to understand their view. The evidence is abundantly clear that as decision makers, without women, men get themselves into big trouble. It's a boom and bust cycle that patriarchy produces for every civilization. It starts out looking good, but at the expense of many, many of its members. It promises all kinds of goodies for all members, but never delivers. And in its end stages becomes profoundly corrupt and then self and other destructs. Now that's a boom and bust cycle that's apparent in every so-called empire that ever existed. The only exception is the sustained 3,000 years of peace in Atlantis, from which we derive the goddess of the Statue of Liberty, Astrea, and her law book, which is the original Gortina Code, which is a law book made by laws being made both by females and males in at least equal number, maybe a slight ascendance of females. We can either learn these lessons or keep repeating the same mistake for thousands of years. It is amazing that this has gone on this long. It's amazing that women become so crippled that they can't find their own truth and thwart each other in delivering it. I have found the whole experience so mind-boggling and heart-wrenching and mind-boggling that at times I've just been overwhelmed with sadness that humanity could be this stupid and harmful to itself and all its members. Let's see if we can pull out of this tailspin. Let us see if Goddess God will extend the time on us on this planet and prevent us from missing this opportunity and allow us to become risen. As Equinox QQ's Co-Secretary General's Co-Savioress. My family has had their names now all over the world, but they're not actually doing the practice of the New Millennial Golden Rule. I'm the only person who is. I'm the only member of the family who has consistently been practicing the New Millennial Golden Rule, holding gatherings, inviting the women, inviting the youth, and saying parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future every day. And also la leche, la leche, la leche, la leche. So let's play this portion, very important to hear.
This day I call the heavens and the earths as witnesses intercessorily for and hopefully and prayerfully not against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose love and life with right, so that you and your children may live. For I give you good doctrine, forsake you not, your own will know law. Plagues, iron pox, and let us all listen. On this earth and all planets, circles connected and reconnected in balance.
Okay, I've got a situation. Maybe May sunflowers, the Cherokee blossom. This is Anna Marie singing this, and I am Cherokee Summer Blossom and out of Washington, Dakota. And I am also a French, English, and German. B238 I-1 that means we are all related. We embrace the new millennial golden rule as the law of ALLTIMATE of the sacred ground that is Mother Earth and all the planets of all the universes.
All right, let's do our ceremony. I do this intercessorily. I don't know if that can work anymore, and I've also made my share of errors. I don't know if I'm fully qualified as a Messiah, but maybe I am. This is up to Goddess God. Goddess God will determine the result of our efforts. So let's do our marvelous miraculous ceremony. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water. Hugs and love to all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water. Hugs and love to all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible. And we'll say, Namaste, Mikatuya Oyasin, Nikatuya Koseveral, Kong Pax Culture, Tubes Sedleric, Tubes, Chinque, Bahaval, Chayim, Shalom, Salam, Soul, Salam, Shalom, Mir Pache, Mir, Ubuntu, Merci, Buenos Dias, Ciao, Schlanzvag, Das Vidanya, Sayonara, Chinque, Chop Chop, Good day, and cheerio. And if I've forgotten any languages, you include. I say Tubes, Sedleric, Tubes. I think so. If I've forgotten any of the languages important to you, you include them. And let's say, let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all, both, and each and every one, as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Kosi for us. Let's say this again. Let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all, both, and each and every one, as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Kosi for us, of the marvelously, miraculously budding, blooming flowers of Milky Ways of heartlights lit, of our solar starlight, sunlight within us, as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Kosi for us, all our love powers. All right, and now let's say this most important fact for our culture, especially in North America, where the rates of breastfeeding are quite poor. Let's drink the milk of human kindness, for all, both, and each and every one, representing all, both, and each and every one now and as soon as possible, starting with my and your holy baby girl and holy baby boy, holy baby girls and holy baby boys, of my family, your family, and all our family. That is all of us, and that includes the milk of human kindness throughout our lives, past, present, future, as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Kosi for us. Now, something has intimidated the kindness in my family. I think that they are being threatened, or they are being held back by their own low self-esteem and learned helplessness. We have to represent them. I represent them. You know their names. They all have the ability to do the work of Equinox 2Qs. They all have the kitties kits, the New Money Golden Rule itself. It's 5 pillars. You can read them on the website. Very important. Panchayat Raj, Genuine Progress Indicator, counting all the labors of the eternal feminine as well as the eternal masculine. And the circle process, the democracy that includes a group of people, not just the self, and they understand that we are all incarnations of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. And so we drink to that in the milk of human kindness throughout our lives, past, present, future, as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Kosi for us, of our Milky Ways, solar heartlights, always lit, budding, blooming, marvelously and miraculously at all times. Past, present, future. And I drink on behalf of all, both, of each and everyone, and representing all, both, of each and everyone. Okay, now we have our elixirs of Purim and Passover. We are approaching the New Year's and the Yom Kippur. The name Yom Kippur is derived from Purim. Yom Kippurim. Yom Kippurim. Purim. It means purity of the soul. It means purification from sin. What is the worst sin and the most common sin on planet Earth? Genderism, gender hierarchy. That is it. And we see many people who are so sinful that they invert their sin into sanctitude, and they revert and they try to pervert equality into sin. That's an old game that the old apes play. Don't buy it. Watch the Planet of the Apes and watch Cornelius. You'll see who's running your world currently. Okay, so let's drink the fruit juices of Purim, the wines of Passover, the fruit juice of Estherus, the wines of Estherus, of the Soma of Vedic India, egalitarian culture, of the Entheons of the Eleusinian fields, egalitarian culture, of the Eleusinian mysteries, the Native American cocos and other drinks made of wheat and corn that are part of the ceremonial traditions of this continent, and also the eggnogs and all of the special liquids of all the cultures of the world. They're all sacramental, but none are more important than the mother's milk to her baby. And let's drink on behalf of all, both and each other, and representing all, both and each other. I do so right now. As Equinox Tricus, Co-Secretary General Scotia, delicious, but again, not more sanctitudinal, not more sacramental than the milk. And now we have the water of loving, living planets that will reclaim and sustain our planet Earth and all our Earths to be. As Equinox Tricus, Co-Secretary General Scotia, we are like the orbs of sun or stars. The suns or stars, it's the same thing. We are like that. We make circles. When we make a circle with other human beings, we exchange opinions in a way that is loving. We learn from one another. We learn to listen as well as to talk. Our lights shine. Then we become holy as the stars. We are the stars self-fulfilling itself. And so we are the Milky Ways, the solar heart lights lit and budding and blooming into space, past, present, future, all into the heavens. I won't call it space. It's the heavens. And we become the heavens on Earth that are implied here too. So on Earth's. So let's drink on behalf of all, both and each and everyone, representing all, both and each one now, and as soon as possible. As Equinox Tricus, Co-Secretary General Scotia, I did so. And now we have our cakes. Today, a husband celebrates the birthday of a wife. I celebrate the 411. I celebrate the 311 that's included in the 411, and the 111 and the 211 that is eleven of all the females and males as incarnations of Goddess God, in the motherhood and the fatherhood role, and in the sisterhood and the brotherhood role of 311 and 411. The 322s and the 422s, the 325s and the 425s, the life force comes into play. We are continuing these dates. They show up in the hourly representations of a clock. The months are represented in the hours of day. And so are the years. So you're never out of time if you know what your consciousness is. We choose parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future. I represent all the women, all the Shekinahs, past, present, future, and all our young Shekinahs and Hekinahs, age 37 and younger, thereabouts. Doesn't have to be perfect. First as Co-Secretary General Scotia, Equinox Tricus, and first with our vernal and autumnal equinoxes rejoining, and then our solar dates connecting. Let's do that all as a circle. I do it for you. I've been doing it for you. I do so every day. And we say it again, we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days as Equinox Tricus, Co-Secretary General Scotia, of marvelously, miraculously budding, blooming Milky Ways and heart lights, solar heart lights always lit. Equinox Tricus, Co-Secretary General Scotia. And we have with us the round cookie to celebrate Purim. on every holy day. Every day is a holy day. Let's celebrate Purim, the events of Shushan. The women gather this time. Instead of waiting for the old guy to give them 50-50, for the guy to give it, it was good that he offered his wife. That was a very good step. But she, this time, has the insight. Why don't I give that to all my women friends? Let's all have 50-50 and let our men have 50-50 too. That will keep them out of war, prevent them from going into corruption. Let's give it to them as a gift. And so they do. So we travel back in time for Purim and we give 50-50, and our hat is a round one, like a gardener's hat. Given it the hat, crown, halo enterprise that of our great-grandmothers. And why is the Passover and Last Supper bread flat? Why is a matzah flat? Because people under patriarchy don't have time to become risen, because they're rushing around, running away from the domination of the alpha males. Instead, we will follow the ways of ancient Atlantis and the findings of modern anthropology in studying primate behavior. We will elevate the circle. We will elevate the females. And we will elevate those males who like it that the females are elevated, and have 50-50 as the goal. And then we are 50-50 risen. We have our females represented by the round bread and our males represented by the oval bread. We're all well-rounded. We have eternity within us. We don't have hard corners that stop a boom and bust cycle. We become sustainable for always. On heavens, on earth, this and all our earths, Atlantis, and all holy dens risen. Equinox Tricus, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary. And we remind ourselves that it isn't just about wheat, that we have here our rice and our oats, all the foodstuffs that we have to preserve on this earth and stop their adulteration. We have permaculture. We know that it works. We know organic methods work abundantly. What are we doing to ourselves? We're following alpha males, and the women are falling in line like drones. And that's the multiple sin of both genders. So what we want to do is gather instead as eggs of egalitarian culture. And we have our one egg to begin with, and then we become 2 eggs, like Lee and I on 11-2-3-4-5-2-3-4-5. And Marie and I, you hear us often together, and we relate to you. We're calling your names when we talk to you, so that's a 3rd. And of course, God is always present, especially the goddess aspect is listening to this. When we gather 3, we make a circle. When we gather 4, 5, 6, 7 to 11, we make a good-sized daisy chain. Beginning. And we co-anoint each other as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary. Then we call to us 5 young women and 5 young men, around age 37 and younger. Those of our family, our genealogical connected family, are ideal. Obviously, they're not the only ones who have this ability, but they're the ideal and most important ones for cultural shift. So each culture has its different heritage groups. I've named those of our most connected to Judeo-Christian, connected to Atlantis, connected to Vedic India, connected to Thrace, connected to Native Americans. These are powerful egalitarian cultural bases. But we also have included women and men of Irish and Celtic, African American, New Zealand and Australian, all of the different continents are included. So you can see that, and we're going to make some adjustments on that list so that it's reflecting the ability of the people to do it, and not putting people who are not quite ready yet, or far from ready, too far ahead of themselves. So we're also going to add a few additions that we left out. So we have you, and we co-anoint you, and then once we've co-anointed one another as Equinox Tricus, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary, we improve the relationship of women. That becomes more honest, less full of petty nonsense that goes on between women, jealousies and shutdowns and problems with self-differentiation that cause a lot of anger and frustration, and usually dropping the relationship prematurely. Then we also improve the relationships of females and males, so there's none of this co-optation, submission, domination nonsense that goes on among women and men. And then we include as a subset of that egalitarian marriage. And then we have the important relationships of men are improved by egalitarian culture. We don't have exploitation. We don't have domination. We don't have violence. We don't have war. We don't have mass rape. We don't have mass war. We have people who love one another. Oh, sound nice? Sound like an idea. And then we know that each one of us has the ability to say, parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future, parity paradises instead of patriarchal planetocides, past, present, future. Connect yourself to the entire universe in your thinking. Know that this is a cosmic choice, and you make it intentionally with the blessing of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. And you become the eggs of egalitarian culture. And so now we do our conscious currencies. Do our consciousness currencies, and we have our various, we start with our women in the Akashic record. That goes for many generations, all the way to 1650 BC and really before. And then we have our current generations of women around age 38 and older, and our current younger people around, well, around age 37 and younger. Doesn't have to be example. We can edge up into 38. We want to get it accomplished as quickly as possible. And so we start with our various surname groupings. We will start with our Native American names. Let's call it Babbling Brooks, and Growing Flowers, or whatever names you want to give to Native American women. And then we have, and so we'll also include names that we know of in past generations, Myrtle, Rosemary, and Pearl. And we especially, of course, thank as Sarah Harriet and Ray and as Sarah Harriet for gathering us here. Even though it's on Native American land, there are spirits brings forth the Atlantis risen. That's where it's coming from. Sarah Harriet and Ray are connected to Atlantis risen and the Holy Lands of Judeo-Christian heritage both. And that brings that powerful force, French, Thracian, all of this coming through them. Then we also have equally important from Atlantis, Estrella and Libertia, and also connecting Mariamas of that group too. We have Hannah. We have Precious Antoinette, Risen Rose. No, I don't want to get into the first names yet. So we have our Morellians, Adelians, our Winnerians, our Morellians, and Adelians, our Margalians, our Silver Golden Kindians, Zalkindians, and Feldmarians, Lee Winfreyans, Capadia Gandhians, especially today, remembering those Capadians by the Gandhians. The Gandhians are remembering the Capadians, okay? And I'm going to continue to do so. I'm going to extend my birthday at least a full month. I hope God will let me. And MONTHSZ too, okay, and Kasturbas, of course, and that's our family, their birthdays too, okay, and the springtime versions of that, reciprocals in the Southern Hemisphere. And so we have also our, I said our Lee Winfreyans, our Scott Kindians, those I've mentioned in other essays. We have our Huertas Chavezes, we have our Brannock Skakel, Fitzgerald, Hannah, Kennedy Cuomo's. We have our did I say I said our Feldmarians, and of course our Herstian, our Herzogian, and our Sweet and Saganin, and very important, and our Hoelian and Casidian, many more. That's in the Akashic record. And then we have all the women of that those surnames and more here. Our Goldenbergian and Goldbergian, Cabellian, Cavallarian, risen to say parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future, and many more. Malarian, Newcomerian, many more. Our neighbors and all the people we've ever known. We also have this in the current generation of women, and we have it in our current generations of young peoples, age 37, thereabouts, and younger females and males. So let's give you all the big kisses. And now we have our big branching family tree. And we want to start with remembering Myrtle, Rose, Marie, and Pearl. And we want to, I'll call up and make sure that I'm saying my Patricia and Sunflowers, but I said so in retrospect. The universe hurt me. And I'm purchasing that ticket. They know I had it in mind. Okay. And heart. They know I had it in heart. And so we have we especially have Ray and as Harriet. Ray as Harriet and Ray. We have Hannah. We have Estrella and Libertia, and we have Judy, and we have Beth Ann, and so we have Precious Antoinette, Risen Rose. So I said Ray and Clara as Harriet and Jacqueline, who's in this current generation. So let's try to help her become an anchor, but she is not willing thus far, so I do it for her. Consider me the great aunt of the family. And we have as Precious Antoinette, and Rose, Adele, Lucille, and Lillian, and we have Molly and more. We have Risen Rose, and we have Grandma Marie of Milk, Honey, and Flowing Kindness, and we have Annette, and we have Dorothy and all her sister Kazinas, and we have Lynn, and we have Rachel, and all of their sister Kazinas back and forth in time. We give them all the new millennial golden rule. They are risen. They have parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future, and all their generations do. And we also include in this Hattie Mae, Lillian Mae, and Gaugy. We include especially, of course, Kasturba and Radha. We include all the ones going back to Estrella and Pasiphae and Ariadne and all of the ones there, and many, many more of many, many names, Panacea and Hygiena, and many, many, many more. We have of Atlantis. We have our all of the Mariams and the Esthers and the Mariams and Rachels and Leahs and all the various names of women, your names, all of the names. And then we have Beth Ann, we have Bessie and Barbara. We have Giselle, and we have more Dorothys, and we have did I say Dolores and Marias and Annas and many of those names. And then we also have Eunice, Jacqueline, and Rose, and we have another Dorothy, and we have Virginia. We have all of them, all of the Akashic records, all of the women that we have ever known, their mothers, their great-grandmothers, and their Jaginas. We have granted them all at this marvelous, miraculous place and on these broadcasts eternal life via 50-50, via the new millennial golden rule. And the same is for all their families, and starts with their young people. Okay, then we have our current generations of women, so very important. Now, I'm doing this intercessorily for you. You've been doing just the opposite. You are beginners against your own eternal life. You've been holding on to either learned helplessness or vicarious codependency within patriarchy, or active identification with males, so that you are becoming more like males than females, and you don't know what the divine feminine is. So this is all problematic. I'm doing it on your behalf. That's okay. I don't have a problem doing that, but it is not doing us any good in terms of the progress of the effort here. And then we'll all go down, and the planet will go down, and we won't not have succeeded. So I'm working for you. I don't go down. As long as I'm alive, I don't go down. Just like the Statue of Liberty. As long as she's standing, she's standing. That's it. Okay. So I stand on behalf of all of you, and we have here, of course, Mother Patricia Sunflowers and Marie Singing Crickets. We have Victoria, Mariama, Marion, Julianne, Marie, and I. We have Barbara and Judy. Well, Judy is in the Akashic record. We include her to bring her back. We have Alexandra, Rachel, Juliana, and Francesca. We have remembering Lee and Thelma. We have Batya, Helene, Sherry, and Arlene. Remembering Beth Ann. We have Sarah, Susan, Laura and Judine, and we have Denise and Marcia, remembering not only Rose and Annette, Rose and Annette and Marie, but also all the Hannah Greenbaum Solomon kinds and all the kins and kinds. We include all of the Zal kinds and very, very important Solomon connection. And so we have also here Robin and Gila and Ethel and Ray and Linda, and a lot more. There's many, many more that I have. Miriam, there's a Miriam here, another one. Lots of people that we could include. Deborah's. We do include the Deborah's, yes. That also comes through this connection. And Tracy's, yes, comes through this connection. And so all of those. Then we also include our Feldmarian family, equally important, very important to make the circle of the Marian family, the Mars, under coming to Earth with some insight. That we blew it on Mars, let's fix it on Earth, okay? And so we have remembering Giselle and Dorothy. We have Andrea and Meredith and Susan and Cheryl and Merle and Meredith. I think I said that already. And Susan, Merle, and Barbara, and many, many, many more. And then we have, of course, going to our African, we of course include Sonia and Pratibha, very important Indus connections. And we also include Vernita and Patricia, Oprah, Krishnandra, and Alicia. And we include Maria's and Dolores's of our Hispanic heritages, and many of their and all their daughters, various names. And we include remembering Pearl, remembering the Pearls and Ruby. We include Sally and Deborah and Paula, and we include so let's see, and then we also include Mary and Carrie. We include on intercessoral level Donna and Diana, who have been very destructive in their process here, but we include them anyway on and remembering their great grandmothers if only they'd give us a chance to do that for them. And we are doing it for them, but they don't seem to want to know. And so they're clinging to Daddy so hard that as soon as you say anything about Daddy, they go up into flames and they can't see or anything you're saying about their mothers or grandmothers. It's very tricky dealing with that. And we also include so I said Andrea and so forth, and also Marjorie and Hillary. And then we have our young women, so very, very important, and young men, equally important. Angeline, April, Rosa and Marie, Rosa and Edith, and Hadass, Rachel Marie, Daniel Gillette, Stacey Anastasia, Vanessa Salia, Soma, Vanessa Salia, equally important, all of them, all of those in a circle. And Hesperus and Athena, again, adding to the circle, Hesperus and Athena, Natalie and Elisa, Hillel, Ashira and Elisa, Rebecca and Sandra, Evan and Sarah, as soon as we know that they are not caught up in the errors of their older people. We may remove them, put them a little bit lower in the list until we can know that for sure. And we have our we have Aquarius, and we have many. We have Mary, Sally's daughter. Did I mention Sally up there in the middle level? And we have Beth, Robin's daughter. I mentioned her in the upper level and the middle level, and so lots more in Aquarius. And then we have our young men, equally important. Helen, Elizabeth, Wesley, and Yeshai, Helen, Elizabeth, Ross, Itani, Jared, and hopefully Marcel and Eric. Let's hope on their account right now. Right, we don't know where they're standing, but let's hope we do it intercession for them. We grant you all your Equinox True Q-hood, and we give you the big kisses. And now you are all anointed as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. You already have had the New Millennial Golden Rule, the Kitty's Kits, and the 11 Steps. It's very easy for you to transform the world with that. Send some emails the way I have done. Show some energy into it. The whole thing becomes transformed. And then we also include the older men. After we bring ourselves into contact with the older women who are our Matroni, coming back into our lives as younger again, as eternally young Mother Nature, like Ceres regaining her Persephone aspect, and all these young women are Persephones or Heras and Hebes, putting them together in a lifelong eternal youth. Then we can also bring through the men, older men. Well, we hold the current men of our families and communities accountable to parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future. We say it to them every day. We say to do anything else than that is prejudice. And it doesn't matter if the women are adjusted to it. It's prejudice. You have to know it yourself. And stop doing it. The hegemony is dangerous. It makes people think that which is aberrant is normal. And then we can also open the doors for the men of the stargates. And then we are Atlantis risen. And did I say Carrie and Mary? I think I did. So then we are Atlantis risen, Atlantis and all holy lands risen, and this and all our planets risen. I give you the big hugs. And did I mention Georgine and Laura? And did I mention Malka and Shirley? That very important for me to mention in the Akashic record of Malka and Shirley and Georgine and the current generations of neighbors. Also May and Judy and Tammy and Margaret and many more, and the neighbors, Louise and Elizabeth, lots more, and Lynn and Elizabeth and Ruth and many, many more. Now we have this is my family branches. Marion, we want you to bring yours. And you, Barbara, and you, Meredith, bring the pictures of your children and your sisters. Bring them, your sisters and your mothers, bring them. Here we have Victoria and Mariama, we have Julian, Marie, and I, we have the past generations here, and we have the neighbors implied, Georgine and Laura and Georgine. They haven't been doing their job, but I'm doing it for them. And we have Vanessa Salia and Harmless of His. And you've read about all these people on the internet. You know that all of them are together with the larger family tree, capable of Equinox True Q-hood. So I give them big kisses. And now again back to the larger family tree, the big kisses again. All right, and then we always show our fruit. We have more fresh fruit today. Okay, we have more fresh fruit today, and we say we will start fresh for Parity Paradisze. On this one, all our planets, we will recognize that patriarchy has been a wrong turn for thousands of years. We say goodbye to the process of patriarchy and pick anthropological parity. We say no planetocide for this and other planets. And we say Parity Paradisze, heavens on all earths, past, present, future, as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, the rainbow heart light shining through us of all our Milky Ways, always budding and blooming, bearing fruit, and always the seeds of a better way on everywhere we go, budding and blooming into the heavens all around us. So, and we are a heaven. So let's do that as Equinox Q, Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretary. And then we always say, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earths, past, present, future, as Equinox Q's, Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretary. And we'll say it again. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earths, past, present, future, as with our Milky Ways, our solar heart lights lit, our budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous love powers, budding and blooming, Equinox Q's, Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretary. Again, our budding, blooming, solar heart light, always Milky Ways, Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretary, Equinox Q's, with a birthday and a conception day of new conception, new birth, fresh every day, past, present, future, as immortal Equinox Q's, Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretary. Okay, that's our broadcast of the ceremony. I did not record it on a phone line, but it is on Google and YouTube. Will be in just a few moments. And I'm going to make some outreach calls very quickly to let people know that this was done, accomplished.